Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for coming along and joining me tonight for the Friday Night Live with special guest. Tonight, our special guest will be Shane from Seeing It My Way 1. I'd just like to say, before I bring Shane on, thank you everyone for coming in and joining the chat. Much appreciated, and for supporting myself and Shane. Anyway, let's bring Shane in.
Hey, Paul. How you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. How are you? How's your day been?
Good, good. Oh, good, good. Thanks for having me today.
No, it's a pleasure to have you. You are, I would call, an inspiration, but we'll get to that in a minute anyway. So first of all, thank you very much for coming on and being a guest tonight on my live stream. It's very much appreciated. So obviously, getting straight into the point, unlike myself and a lot of the other detectorists that metal detect, you actually detect without your sight. Would you mind telling everyone how obviously you came about to being blind?
Well, I have a congenital eye disease that I was born with called retinitis pigmentosa, or RP for short. And it's basically a disease where your eyesight degenerates over time.
Yeah.
So I'm at a point in my life where I've lost most of my usable vision for, I'd say, for about the past 10 years now. So I'm 43 years old.
Yeah.
So, and I decided that, my loss of eyesight's not going to be the loss of my world. So I just continue on and do what I like and try to adapt. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, it's funny you should say that. So you're not allowing your loss of sight to actually define you. You still want to carry on as basically normal, and that's what I mean by it's inspirational, because for detectorists, I'm guessing you take it for granted your sight, so you always assume that you would need your sight for this kind of hobby. But obviously, when we discovered yourself and you come on YouTube, you've proven that actually you don't. It's good. So you are quite inspirational that way, and not only just for the hobby of detecting, but for the visual impaired and blind community as well, showing that actually you don't have to allow it to stop you doing your own hobby or what you love. So that's quite good. So that's well done you. So the RP, the condition that has obviously caused you to lose your sight. How common is this? Is it a lot of people suffer this, or is it a rare condition?
it's a fairly rare condition. I think 1 in 3,000 people get it.
Right.
So.
And is it something that you're born with, or is it something like an infection that you catch?
It's something you're born with.
Born with.
But I've never heard of any cases that, just came about, but I'm pretty sure it's just congenital.
Congenital.
Yeah.
Not too bad. So obviously with today's pandemics and stuff that's been going on, how has that actually affected your day to day? Has it made much impact on you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just like everybody else, everybody is making sacrifices now. A lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of people are off work until the pandemic's over. And I think in the UK, you guys weren't even allowed to metal detect for a while.
Yeah, that's correct. We basically went into, I wouldn't say a total lockdown, but obviously key workers and stuff could go to work, but everybody else stayed at home, and all hobbies and outdoor activities basically ceased. Stay at home basically. That was our lockdown, which was basically, it's been, I would say, hard on certain individuals, because obviously we had shielding and stuff, so they were not allowed contact with anybody for, I think it was now a good couple of months anyway. So that was hard, especially our elderly as well. So but it's good that we're starting to being able to make contact, obviously with social distancing and wearing masks, etc. So we are able to make contact now. So
yeah, and for the blind community, it's kind of tough because we have to touch things to see it. So we're still touching everything,
Yeah. So is that made it even like 10 times worse in the sense of like fear wise, not necessarily, because obviously you are going to have to touch through the condition, but Is it fear-wise that potentially you might have caught it at some point?
Not at my. I'm not really afraid, you know.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot in the community that are kind of afraid because you do have to touch a lot, and
Yeah.
you know, hand sanitizer has been used a lot more. And
yeah, definitely, and understandable as well, especially when they said it was contact and water vapor, and as you say, you're touching everything.
yeah.
So, do you want to tell everyone how long you've actually been detecting then, and how it came about?
Well, I've been metal detecting since 1996, and what piqued my interest is my dad and my grandfather. They started metal detecting in the late 70s, and my grandfather, he still did it up into the probably the early to mid 90s. And so I just decided, it was interesting seeing all the coins that they found over the years and all the interesting relics.
Yeah.
So I ended up buying myself a metal detector, and it was the very first one I bought was like a $40 one. It was like a little kid's one.
Yeah.
And then, I was like, you know what? I need a better one. So then I bought a $200 one, which was like a Radio Shack, which is an electronic store here in the United States, which is a bounty hunter metal detector.
Yeah.
And then from there, well, when I had that metal detector, I found my first silver coin, and that's when I was really hooked. When I found my first silver coin.
I think that hooks a lot of people, especially when they find not necessarily silver, but just something of interest rather than your pull tabs or your junk, basically. When they find a nice little coin or a nice little relic, I think they're hooked then.
And there's a lot of junk out there.
Yeah, that's what. When folk look at the YouTube videos and stuff like that, they don't actually see how much junk we actually dig as a whole. Everybody will know that detects. You'll end up with like maybe a bag full of trash and potentially one little good thing out of it all. You know what I mean? It's quite amusing. Or some days you come back just with a bag of trash and haven't found nothing.
Yeah. I still enjoy them days though. I love it even when I don't find anything.
Yeah.
Because I just love being out there, and I do it on my own. I don't need nobody's help. So it's all me enjoying myself.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's just about getting out there. There's positive ways that you can look at it. It's exercise, so you're actually out there exercising as well. And then obviously, as we've discussed in previous live streams and stuff like that, it's good for the mental health as well. Just being able to not think about anything, just carry on and have your thoughts to yourself.
Relieves. Yeah, absolutely.
So you. Yeah, sorry, what you saying there?
After I had the Radio Shack one, then I bought a really good metal detector. It was a White's DFX. It was like a dual frequency.
Yeah.
And that was in I think 2003 or 4 when I bought that one. And then right around 2010, I couldn't read it anymore.
Yeah.
So I ended up selling that and buying a Garrett AT Pro because I could fill all the buttons on the Garrett AT Pro, and I memorized what each button did, how many clicks I had to click it to get to a certain number, like sensitivity or discrimination. So I memorized all that, and then the pinpointing button.
So that's.
And then.
No, that's okay. But that is the next question for everybody to understand. How difficult is it? Like, because obviously you're discussing how you so how difficult is it for you learning, say, like from machine to machine? Because obviously as you upgrade and things like that, new machines come in. So how difficult is it for you learning the setup of a machine? Because obviously we can just read, obviously, and you're unable to do that. So you do it by touch and memory of what each noise does. So how easy is it for you, or how difficult is it for you to set up a machine?
For the Garrett AT Pro, it's super simple. Just turn it on, and I know where I'm at, and where I got to go. Like if there's EMI, or I know how to adjust the frequencies or the sensitivity, or your ground balancing's real easy on the Garrett AT Pro.
Nice.
So
I'm just reading. There's a question coming from Luke from Anglo Detecting on Earth in Our Past. He's got a question. What do you prefer detecting, land or beach?
I don't do a lot of beach. Like, I'm on vacation right now. I'm at the
Yeah.
beach. I really like being at the beach. I like the fact that you can just scoop something up and find it real quick. But for me, not being able to see people on the beach or the umbrellas,
that would.
I did a lot of bumping into did a lot of bumping into people.
That.
You know, and I gotta explain it, like, oh, I can't see. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit you with my coil, or I didn't mean to hit your umbrella. Or
Oh dear.
and
Are they quite
and I
understandable?
haven't. Oh yeah, believe it or not, people are real understandable once you explain it to
Yeah.
them.
Because obviously I can imagine just having been on the beach, and a lot of people are ignorant to say the least, straight off the bat when you do something like that, and start complaining until you actually come across and say, I can't actually see, I'm blind. Have you had a few instances of that on the beach?
No, no ignorant people. So I'm kind of surprised at
Yeah.
that. And I had a guy approach me yesterday. You know, he said, "Hey, my son lost a metal shovel over here. You think you can find it?" And I said, "Well, yeah, no problem. I'll come over and find it." And I said, "Well, I got to tell you before we go over. You know, I can't see."
Yeah.
He's like, "Huh? What do you mean?" I'm like, "I can't see." You know. And so I had to explain to him.
Oh.
You know, and he walked me over and he showed me where. And
Oh.
so we didn't find it. We didn't find a shovel, but I think he really enjoyed it because we talked for a while.
Yeah. So that's quite good that you're able to obviously try and help folks. So was he quite interested in the fact that you'd lost your sight and metal detecting as well? Did it?
Oh, what was that again?
Was he quite interested and intrigued when you actually told him that you lost your sight and metal detecting?
Yeah, I think he was kind of dumbfounded at first. Yeah, I don't know if he thought I was joking, but
yeah,
okay.
It was like when I first seen your YouTube videos as well, and then I come up as the blind detectorist, and I was kind of like, not, I wouldn't say dumbfounded, but I was kind of like in awe. I was just like, that is impressive, in the fact that you're able to do that. Because I always take it for granted that you needed your sight for it. But
now I don't see like complete darkness. I just kind of see, like, I can tell there's light, and that's about it. You know, I can tell there's like just a little bit of light here or there.
No, that's decent. At least you're not in pitch blackness. I couldn't imagine that, because a lot of folk get scared of the dark. Never mind, just that's all you can see. So that wouldn't be too good. But you've actually got quite a through your videos and stuff as well, quite a good sense of humour with it as well, though, haven't you? You
Oh yeah, absolutely. You gotta be happy, laugh.
Yeah.
You know.
But we were talking about setting up machines and stuff like that. Who knows? We're on YouTube, so some manufacturers might even see this. But for visual impaired or the blind, how do you think? Obviously, it might never happen just because obviously, you're the first blind detectorist that I know. So, but how do you think manufacturers could help the visual impaired with their machines? So for setting up, just to make it that little bit easier for you.
I think with the way technology is and the Bluetooth technology, I would like to see you'd be able to like connect your cell phone to the metal detector, so you can set everything up through your cell phone, because my cell phone talks to me. And I think it's completely possible with the way technology is.
Nice.
Because
yeah, no, definitely. So your phone actually talks to you. Is so for you, is your phone an everyday tool now, not just a phone, but to help you as basically a set of eyes for you as well, if you know what I mean.
With the way technology is, you can do so much with your phone. With iPhone, the accessibility is built right in for your phone to talk to you. And there's programs where I can just point my phone at people, and it'll tell you like where that person is and how far away the person is. It can read text. It can even read handwriting. It can tell you what color stuff is. Like, if you want to know what color your shirt is.
Yeah.
Just technology is amazing now, especially for the blind and visually impaired community. It's really moved forward big time in the past 10 years.
Oh, decent. So in the blind and impaired community, obviously, there'll be a big support network and stuff like that for you. Do you know any other blind or visual impaired metal detectorists that, like, properly, it's almost lost their sight as well? So is there a growing community of it, or are you the?
There's only two I know of. There's the Modern Goonie.
Yep.
And Josh Kimmel from Beyond Sight and Sound. I think his YouTube channel is Ohio Metal Detecting, and that's it. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And just recently, I got a blind person interested, and she went out and bought herself a National Geographic. So she's going to start metal detecting.
Oh, that's
and there's a gentleman from Australia, Steve York. I think his channel is called Steve York and Fox. I forget what it is. Fox the Guide Dog.
Yeah.
Steve, no, it's Steve Fox and York the Guide Dog. So he's from Australia, and he's kind of interested in metal detecting now. So I think that's really awesome that I've inspired some blind and visually impaired people to look into it and want to buy the metal detectors.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's what I mean. So what actually got you started in the YouTube channel way of wanting to do YouTube? Was it to inspire, or was it just to show everybody that you don't have to let things define you? You can still do what you want.
Yeah, originally I just wanted to show people that even though you're visually impaired or blind, I struggled for a while. I was mad at the world. Just really, actually, just mad all the time. And I decided one day, I'm like, I got to keep being mad. I got to keep happy. And then I decided to start doing YouTube videos to show people, losing your eyesight's not the end of the world, or getting any disability. Any disability is not the end of the world. You can still move on and do what you like, and have a great life doing it, and stay happy. And
yeah, no, definitely. And I like at the end of each video you say that as well. Stay happy, and when you message people as well, you say keep smiling as well. So just your I don't know the word for it, but just your
catchphrase or whatever. It's just, I just feel that it's important to be happy.
And definitely, especially in today's day and age, because there's obviously mental illness is coming along and going, and just try to get out there, but try to be happy as well, and it just means a lot.
I did actually quit metal detecting for a while because I didn't feel that I could do it anymore, and I decided, nope, I'm going to keep doing it. It's what I love. That's where my passion's at. So, that's when I started just putting like the metal detecting videos on. I just wanted to show people that it's possible to do what you're passionate about.
Nice. So, out of all the machines that you've used, then, because by the sounds that you've used a few now, what would you say is your best machine and the one that you've got on with best?
Oh, I don't know if I have a best machine, but they all seem to do really well, surprisingly. So I really like my Garrett AT Pro. Like I know the tones so well. I can tell what type of metal it's going to be just by a tone. Or
see, we were discussing earlier with that. So do you think that you're an advantage to say like ourselves, or like myself, because obviously I can see, but obviously what it says, when you lose your sight, your other senses heighten, so your touch and your hearing will heighten to accommodate the loss of sight. Do you think you're slightly better of obviously listening to the tones and being able to identify through, like you were saying earlier, the high and lows more than I can actually hear, rather than just a singular tone?
Absolutely. Like with the Garrett AT Pro, there's like a pro setting, and the tones, they're just not a solid ding. The tones will actually change the metal, just the loudness, the nuances in the tones for the low, high, and the grunts for iron, and I can really tell what something's going to be.
Yeah, I've got. I'm just sorry. I was just reading a comment there for Metal Detecting Land and Water saying Braille display on machines would be a good idea. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? This is a weird fact about me. I've never learned Braille. uh, my blind and visual instructors, they said, "Are you ready to learn Braille?" Nah. With the way technology is, I don't really seem to need it. But now I'm at the point where I think I should start learning it just in case, just the basic Braille.
Yeah.
So
No, that's a good point, because it's obviously Braille just being the shall we say, and raised dots and dashes and spaces, isn't it?
yeah, and that's an interesting thing about the blind community. A lot of blind people don't learn Braille anymore just because of the technology.
I see. So that's quite an interesting thing to note as well, though. That actually Braille's, shall we say, dying out with technology.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, really, because obviously you still go, you see it over in the UK, you go to the toilet and stuff like that, it'll have toilet, but underneath is the Braille fort to tell you it's the toilet. Obviously, you don't want to go in there, you don't want to end up going in the females and scaring them, and having the police coming after you. But
yeah, I really hate public bathrooms.
Yeah.
Because you got to feel around to figure out where you're at, and public bathrooms are always pretty nasty.
Yeah, definitely. So looking back at your channel, as well, I would say your channel breaks into like two channels in one, shall we say? Because you have the blind detectorist, which is yourself. Obviously your channel's called Seen It My Way 1. But then, as well as that, looking back at your videos as well, you have done some incredible stuff, like shooting guns, wakeboarding, magnet fishing. You've tried a few things. Do you ever not get like a little bit scared of being able to going out and doing these activities like the firing of the guns and wakeboarding? Because obviously you're on a board yourself, holding on to a rope. So does it not get a wee bit scary in the fact that you can't actually see what's going on around about you?
Believe it or not, no.
No.
No, I do enjoy trying new things, even though it doesn't seem like you'd be able to do them.
Yeah.
Within reason, I'm not gonna try to drive a car or jump on a forklift or something. But
yeah,
I will try shooting guns and wakeboarding. And if I feel I can do it, I'll do it.
Yeah. I laugh because you've said I wouldn't try anything like drive a car. However, one of your videos, you actually went in and changed the brakes of your car.
Yeah, my wife's car.
So, being able to do all these activities for yourself, do you think that's because of your support network that you've built up with your family and your friends that allows you, and how do they support you to be able to do this?
It's absolutely about my support network. My wife is behind me 100%. She supports me, even though I went through my grumpy phases, and I have great friends.
Yeah.
So my family. And a lot of people don't even realize this, but my mother and my brother also have the same eye disease as I do.
Okay. So it's fallen in the what's the word, in hereditary. So do you think it's from your mum's side?
I don't know. I don't know how it all where it comes from.
Yeah. But... So obviously we've seen that you were magnet fishing in one of your videos. Will you carry on and do magnet fishing as well? Did you enjoy the magnet fishing side of things?
Oh yeah, I just love finding stuff, and unfortunately that day we didn't find much good, but we found stuff like minnow buckets and iPhone chargers and wrenches and
nice. What's the coolest thing you found magnet fishing?
Probably the minnow bucket with minnows in it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Just check. Right. Yeah. So remaining on the subject of your early videos and recent, how does your wife and obviously your stepkids feel when you're out detecting next to waterways? So that, like, I mean, obviously you seen when one of your videos you went a walk for yourself, and you've got your I don't know what you call it, but your guide stick. But when you're metal detecting, you don't actually have that. So how do they feel? Obviously, you're going out on your own next to waterways and stuff that you obviously for your safety wise that you don't. will end up falling in, etc.?
They're a little concerned, but they've known me long enough to know that I'm pretty careful. I'm not gonna really put myself in like a super dangerous situation.
Yeah.
But and also when I'm out metal detecting, and I do this a lot when I get lost, because I even got lost on the beach. I get lost pretty much everywhere. I can get lost in the field.
Yeah.
I'll FaceTime my wife and I'm like, all right, where am I at now? Point me in the right direction. Am I still
Yeah.
in the field or whatever the situation is?
Right.
They even get me around people. Like when people are at parks, I'm like, I hear people, and I want to run into them. Can you get me around them or whatnot? Whatever the situation may be.
Nice. So obviously talking about metal detecting, then obviously you said you found your first silver and stuff like that way back, and that's what got you hooked. What would you say?
Yep.
Not necessarily your best find, but what would you say is your most memorable find?
I found a $1
Wow.
from 1773.
Nice.
And when I found it, I had no idea what it was. I knew it was a coin.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was. I thought it might have been an old nickel or something.
Yeah.
But I could tell I could tell it was definitely silver because it was nice and smooth feeling. It wasn't corroded or crusty. And my wife came and picked me up, and I said, I think I found a nickel, and I think it's like a silver nickel or something. And I gave it to her, and she's looking and looking, and she's like, this thing says 1773 on it. I'm like, huh?
So then
that's older than America, really,
Yeah. So was that when you done your celebratory dance then?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I know that the reals, the Spanish reals, everybody in America, it's a big deal to find one of them.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of like finding our hammers or Saxon coins, shall we say, over here for use in America. So that being your most memorable find, is that also your best find, or have you got a best find?
Oh, I think my favorite find is I found a sterling silver bombardier's pin from World War II.
Oh, nice.
And I always thought that was pretty cool because it's a nice piece of history. Somebody was in World War II and wore that on their uniform. So that's probably one of my favorite things I found.
Yeah. So is it the Spanish real as well? Is that your oldest coin that you've found to date?
Yes, that's the oldest coin I found.
Nice. So would you say you're a coin man, or would you say you're a relic man? What would you prefer finding, and why?
Well, when I first started metal detecting, I was a high tone guy. I dug all high tones. I just wanted to find coins.
Yeah.
But then over the years, it's like, well, there's a lot of cool stuff out there, buttons and gold I probably missed, and so now I like to find everything and anything.
Yeah.
I pretty much dig almost all signals.
Nice.
So
yeah,
even if it lead or I just dig it all now.
Yeah. Well, that's what we were discussing earlier, because you mentioned the Equinox when we were doing the test, but you actually find the Equinox a little bit more complicated to get the settings just due to the way the buttons are set up on the machines, more flush with the screen, so you find it a little bit more, obviously, complicated to set it up. But that with the Knox, I find the VDI in the UK, as I was discussing, is that it's, to me, it's just a guide. I always dig by the tones because there's too much for silver. I think I've had silver as low as 5, but as high as like the high 20s, maybe even just into the 30. So it's got a vast range. So I notice in America, the VDIs are from it. You can actually identify the coins from numbers, a lot of the detectorists. But we do it from, or you do it from tones. And for me, it's just dig a repeatable tone. If it's good tone and it's repeatable, high or low, it'll get dug. I think above 2 is my on the VDI, I would say, because everything else is discriminated.
I think the like the silver, the old hammered silver coins, the silver's not as pure if I'm not mistaken. So that's probably why they read from 5 to, like you said, 30.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it depends on the size and the thinness as well. Because the hammer coins are quite thin. The bigger hammers, I think, are in the mid-20s, somewhere like that. I can't actually say because I've never found one. I found this. I found the small hammers. I've just never found a big one. But they're normal, and I would say anywhere between 9 and up to 50. No, 9 and 13, I would say, that range. But in that range, you're going to get lead, copper, everything else through the spectrum. That's what I've found. That's my personal opinion on the Nox. I don't know what you think with the 80 Pro, tone wise. Is it distinctive for you, the silvers?
Oh yeah. I can. Well, actually, it sounds just like a quarter. So like a newer quarter. So.
Right. Okay. Does your machine obviously pick up the coin, a lot of coins, because you obviously have clad coins, don't you? And I've seen on some of the YouTubers, they say that sometimes the detectors don't pick up the newer clad coins. I take it's the content in them, or it sounds awfully iffy, the signals for the newer clad.
Yeah, and with the Garrett, if you get a deeper clad coin or a deeper silver coin, the signal's gonna be mixed. It's not gonna be a pure signal. If it's deeper than 3 or 4 inches, sometimes it'll be a mixed signal.
Right.
So it's hard to judge.
Yeah. All right. The next question I've got for you, and I was actually asked to ask you this one, but obviously you done. I don't know if everybody's familiar with your videos. If you haven't been, go and check out Shane. See It My Way. His videos aren't all serious. There's quite a good bit of humour in them, especially like the one I'm just about to mention. Do you want to tell us how you came about to meet Daniel?
There was a park rat metal detecting. He's a YouTuber about metal detecting in Florida.
Yeah.
And he kind of had a comical video about his long lost childhood friend, his invisible friend Daniel. And he went to visit another YouTuber, Clark's Cove Detecting.
Yeah.
So then he came my way, and so Daniel came to visit me, and he was picking on me a little bit.
Yeah, I had to. I think at the end of your video, Daniel knocked you out, didn't he? You sort of come to, yeah. But
yeah,
the question on it though is, how did you actually find the dog poop to put in the hole? When you come out of it and you're like, what? I was like, oh no way, I was in stitches. I was laughing all the way through that video. I thought it was brilliant.
Well, originally when I had the idea, I said to my wife about getting a brownie or something and making a fake turd, and I thought, well, that probably wouldn't even look like a turd.
Yeah.
So we have dogs, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna put a glove on, and you find a dog turd for me, and I'm gonna put it in the hole. So I wanted the real thing. I wanted the real prop, so that's what we did.
It worked. It was quite amusing. Sorry, I couldn't stop laughing all the way through that. I thought it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It was like one of your other videos. I think it was the one where you the first time you actually went a walk yourself. I'm not sure how far you actually walked. I think it was about a mile or something down the road. And you kept saying like about the field, and you had your guide stick, and you're showing folk. I found it very good. Was somebody beside you? And I know you said you were on your own, because you were actually saying there's a field here and there's a field there, and you memorised. Is that because the pace is in distance? But I think the funniest part of it all as well was the fact that you pointed out, you were like, look at the deer on the field. There was no deer.
Yeah.
And then you're like, don't be silly, you're not going to see deer. And just carried on like. But how do you understand your topography? Is the word topography?
Oh yeah, yes, you can use
that.
I'm pretty familiar with that road because we've walked that road, a few times just for fun, But I use all the elements trees. When the wind's blowing, you can hear the trees. And like if I look up in the sky, I can see there's light, and I can tell if there's like a tree blocking the light or whatnot. If somebody has a paved or shelled driveway, I can tell them to walk past that. Like I walk past it with my cane.
Yeah. No.
So
it's quite, as I say, it's quite impressive. That was quite a fun video to watch you doing as well. Just walking along the road. But just you are very humorous with your videos as well, which I find brilliant. So what was I going to say? So for the viewers as well, with all the finds that you find, because obviously you've been detecting a while now, since 1996 on and off. What do you do with your finds? Do you put them on display for folk to see when they come in, or do you squirrel them away in a little box for yourself?
I have just buckets and containers, and my wife says you got so much crap everywhere, but I told her eventually I'd like to get like a little curio cabinet, or just to make a little display thing for some of the more interesting things I found.
Yeah,
Yeah, I need that.
So, do you, when you say buckets and containers, do you segregate them off into like coins and one, and the same
coins and like when I hunt in the river, so fishing lures and lead and whatever bullets. I try to separate everything as best I can.
That's actually one of the questions I've got later on for you is river detecting. So, how often do you get in the river detecting? And obviously, with the river, do you need assistance when you go into the rivers? Obviously, just due to the nature of the river being a little bit more, even for somebody that has sight, a little bit more dangerous. Yeah. So, do you need somebody along with you just to help you make sure you don't trip and fall and bang your head off a rock?
Nope. My wife gets me to the water, and I go on my way, and I carry my cell phone with me, and when I'm ready to be done metal detecting, I say, "Come pick me up."
Nice. So do you use a sand scoop or anything like that for the rivers?
Oh, I use a rock pick, just with the magnet on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't ever use a sand scoop in the rivers. Most stuff I use a pinpointer to find it once I find it's a metal detector.
Yeah.
And I think it's easy to find stuff in the river. I don't know if it's like because I don't try to look at it and try to find it. I go by feel and my pinpointer. So
yeah. So obviously all your future detectors then all need to be waterproof as well.
Yeah.
For your river hunting.
But it's interesting how I did get into water metal detecting. I have a friend that did it.
Yeah.
And I told him I'd like to try it. He's like, "Nah, there's no way you can do it. There's no way. It's going to be impossible for you."
Yeah.
And I said, "Nope, I'm definitely going to do it then. You told me it's impossible, now I'm going to do it."
That's the thing. Does it make you more determined when somebody says to you, "No, you can't do this"? Does that make you more determined that you've got to go and do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody tells me I can't do it, I'll find a way to do it.
Oh no, that's shall we say, it's good for you. It's good to have that kind of mindset. I think. Obviously, knowing your limits, but being able to go on and do that, it's pretty good. Like, so when you're going for permissions, I'll do this question, then we'll go in for a small interval break. But when you do research for your permissions and stuff like that, obviously we look at maps and different tools. Is there anything that you're able to use to be able to look for farmsteads or anything like that?
Unfortunately, no. Most of the apps they're not accessible for the blind. So my wife has to help me.
No, that's fair play. Does obviously your wife helps you, and your kids and stuff help you a lot. Are they going to be part of in the future? Do you think they'll take up the hobby as well and come out with you detecting?
No. I tried and tried and tried, and nobody has any interest in it.
No.
So,
no.
Yeah.
That's such a.
That's okay though.
Well, yeah. It's your own hobby. It's your own space then, and own time there.
Yeah.
At least you'll not get nagged at home and nagged out in the field.
Yeah.
to be true. But
Yeah.
as I say, what we're going to do now is we'll stop for a 5-minute interval, just maybe a woo break or quick top up a coffee or whatever you're drinking. But
Okay.
for everybody else, I'll put the interval break on. Please check out the channels and show the love, and we'll see you.
Well, sorry, real quick before we go on break. If anybody at all they want to ask me, I'm not afraid to answer any questions. So if anybody has any questions at all, don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah, if you just tag me with the question, because Shane's not got, he can't see it at the moment. So if you tag me, I'll be able to ask your question to Shane. But please pop over and show the love to the channels, and I'll catch you in a few.
Hello all, Aaron here from South Coast Detecting. Now, if you find yourself at a loose end with nothing else to do, I mean absolutely nothing else to do, you're at the point where you're just thinking of pulling out your own teeth just for something to do, then why not head over to my channel, South Coast Detecting, and check it out. I mean, it's not quite as bad as pulling teeth, it's not far off, but it might be entertaining. Check it out, you never know.
Hello, and welcome to our metal detecting channel. Join us on our adventures as we attempt to find some of Britain's lost hidden treasures. We have managed to secure some absolutely breathtaking land and permissions throughout the UK. We are history fanatics, we are always ready. We are Dave and Tom, we are the detectives.
Phil Griff, El Campo Detectorist here. If it's for you, come and join me on the Costa Blanca, out on the beaches, even up in the mountains. Got some cracking videos to go through. Just pop over to my channel, El Campo Detectorist. If you like, thumbs up, like and subscribe.
come in, nice to see you. My name's Phil, Southeast Detecting. If you want to come and join me, have a look at my channel. I use the Simplex. Boom. Loads of finds. I found Viking, Roman. Come and check me out. Have a look at my channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Come and join me on my adventures, digging around the English countryside, looking for Britain's lost history. Southeast Detecting, be there.
Southeast Detecting Productions.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Friday Night Live with me, Doodles, and my special guest, Shane. But before I bring Shane back in, just like to say thank you very much. And don't forget to pop over and subscribe to Shane's channel, See It My Way 1. That'll be much appreciated. And let's bring Shane back. Hello Shane, how are we doing? Hope that was a nice little break for you there.
Oh, yeah.
There's been a question in the chat, or obviously Dig It Mart has obviously said Shane is an inspiration to everyone.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Totally agree with you there, Dig It Mart. And Alabama Dirt Digger is asking, how did you lose your eyesight? So for anybody new to the chat, would you mind explaining again how you lost your sight?
I have a congenital eye disease, retinitis pigmentosa, or RP. It's just a degenerative disease. So I've been losing my eyesight since I was born, and unfortunately, I'm at the point in my life where I don't have any usable eyesight left.
Yeah, and as we said, you still managed to be able to go out and metal detect. So that's pretty good. So you've been doing the hobby quite a while now, Shane. What do you enjoy most about the hobby? What is it? Is it obviously understand the history and things like that, but do you enjoy the social side of it as well?
I enjoy that I can be independent. I can do it all me. I need nobody's help other than getting to and from sites, or But I do enjoy the social side on Facebook and YouTube. There's a lot of cool metal detectors out there that just have the same passion for metal detecting as I do.
Yeah, it is a great community, the metal detecting community. I do like it. So with your digging equipment as well, when you locate your finds with your metal detector, I noticed that you touch the bottom of your coil and you dig your hole from the bottom of your coil round basically to retrieve your finds. And you use a nice little short. I think it's a cool little short shovel. Is that adapted to you, or is that a standard shovel that you can get over in the US?
That's a standard shovel you can just get on Amazon. That's where I bought mine on Amazon.
Yeah.
So nothing special. It's a great shovel.
Yeah. Who makes that?
It's Lesh or Lee. I'm not sure if it's pronounced, but it's a Samson.
A Samson. Nice. And obviously you've got the trowel and pinpointers as well. So what trowel do you use? Your digging tool.
Heck, I don't know what it is. It's just a little. I think it's called a gator.
A gator. No, that's fine. So when obviously detecting and stuff like that, we've discussed. Obviously we're going out and we don't find anything. How do you deal with, or when you're having dry spells day after day? How do you cope with that? As in, how do you keep yourself going and motivated for the next time you go out?
I enjoy it so much that having a dry day is just fine by me. I'll tell my wife I spent 3 hours metal detecting. I didn't find a single thing, but I still had a great time. And she's like, okay. Yeah.
No, hey, out in the sun, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you're actually on vacation at the start, the live stream, and you're next to a beach. So are we going to see loads more? Are you just accumulating all your videos now so that we can see a lot more when you go back home to Pennsylvania?
Yep, I do have a beach video ready to go. So I found a couple of things, but
yeah.
The first day I went, my wife had trouble finding me because I just kind of just started walking, and she's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, well, "I don't know. I'm on the beach, you know."
Yeah.
So we were FaceTiming, and she says, "Well, point to the houses." And she's looking at the houses, and she says, "I have no idea where you're at."
Nice.
So I told her when I went to the left, and I thought I was to the left, but I ended up turning around and going into like the wet sand.
Yeah.
And I must have walked faster back in the wet sand because I wasn't finding much, and I overshot where I originally came on the beach. So.
Right. How do you remember where you've come on the beach when you're detecting? Obviously, you've said there's apps and stuff on your phone and things like that help you, but how do you actually remember? Is it steps that you take, or?
I was lost on the beach because it's hard on the beach because it's different to walk on. The sand is different, and there's really no landmarks other than the beach making a noise.
Yeah.
Like I can't hear cars on the road, or like a lot of times, like if I'm at a park or wherever, I listen to the cars on the road, so I know.
Yeah.
The road's on the right or the road's on the left, so I know where I'm going. So the beach is a little tougher, especially with people being everywhere randomly.
Yeah, that's a bit of shall we say, that's a bit of a nuisance for you. But obviously the texture's the same, so even I'm guessing like you say that the texture is that the right word? The texture of the ground surface is all the same on the beach, really, other than dry and wet sand, if you know what I mean. So
yeah, and the detectors are hard on the beach. Like it was perfect on the dry land or dry sand.
Yeah.
But when you get down to the wet stuff, it's hard to get your metal detector adjusted. and that's another thing I like about the Garrett. I can adjust it without being able to see the metal detector as far as the sensitivity and the ground balancing and where I need to get it to be.
Yeah.
Be quiet.
So do you know what sensitivity you've actually set it to? Is there distinctively? I've not used the AT Pro, so is there a certain bleeps for the sensitivity, or that you know how high you are or low you are on your detector?
Well, there's just like a plus and a minus.
Yeah.
So what I normally do is I always turn it up the whole way.
Okay.
And if I can run my sensitivity wide open, I will. And if I can't, I'll just lower it a little bit until it's depending on the EMI or what's going on.
Yeah.
Or getting ground balance right.
Got you. Yeah. No, that it's good, and I take it bleeps as it comes down its sensitivity every notch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Just because.
That's not too bad. So I'm going to ask you about a bucket list. Do you have a bucket list? Obviously, I was going to guess that a Real would have made it, but you've already found one. So, so what is on your bucket list? What would you most like to find?
Well, in America, they have seated coins, which is Liberty sitting on a bench or a seat.
Yeah.
So, and that's like the mid 1800s.
Okay.
So that's kind of one of my bucket listers, to find a seated coin or a marble.
A marble.
I've never found a marble metal detecting, and people find them all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping someday to stumble upon one. And
you're saying that I've actually found not a marble, but I have found that if you and with the Knox, if my sensitivity is too high and the ground's mineralized, and it's a very rocky area, I've found that some smooth rounded stones will actually give a signal off on my metal detector. So I've had to like ground balance it I think once or twice, just because I was actually getting signals off rocks. I couldn't believe it. I was like, it's the first time I'd actually detected a rock. I was like, wow.
When in the United States, we have what's called hot rock. I'm not.
Yeah, we get.
I'm not exactly. I'm not sure what they come from, but they can be annoying when you run into them.
Yeah, you get them in the UK as well, hot rocks.
Okay.
And I'm sure it's the remnants, say, like burnt coals and stuff like that. The bits that didn't basically burn.
Okay.
I think that's what it is, but I'm sure folk in the chat will be able to confirm what an actual hot rock is. But yeah, but I'm lucky enough that I use without promoting or anything, but a mine lab. Mine labs don't seem to pick up the hot rocks. The other machines, it just seems to null them out. So with the mine labs, you don't actually detect them, which is a good thing. There's Mark for MS Detectorists. Hot rocks have copper elements in them.
Okay, that would make sense.
Yeah, so that's why it'll pick it up quick. Not too bad. So, detector-wise, what would you think? Have you got a dream detector that you would like to use? From what you've heard,
I would like to get the. Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah. What detector would you like to get?
I would like to get the Equinox 800.
Equinox 800.
I'd really love to be able to use that. It seems to be like a really good, stable machine.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of Equinox users. I love it. I think it's a great machine. So I'm quite happy with that one.
It seems like it does great in the water also, especially the beach. Everybody says it's pretty stable for the beach.
Yeah. I would say for me, I would say pasture. Yeah, it loves the pasture. And the beaches, I've seen a few use it on the beach, and it does well there. I'm only just starting to use it on the beach, and it's basically like going over pasture for me, in the sense there's no chitter chatter from the salt water like you get from other detectors or even probes. I've had probes in the past. I think the Garrett 1 pinpointer, when that first came out, I had one of them. Now, when you put it in the salt water, it used to go mental. It did not like salt water. Obviously, as they changed, I think they may have sorted that problem. I'm not too sure. I don't actually use a Garrett pinpointer anymore. But that pinpointer did not like salt water at the start. So looking at obviously detecting wise, have you been on any events over in America, or are you planning on going on any events in America?
I've never been to one, but I'm planning on going one in February if everything works out right.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty excited for that.
But is that a big one?
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. I think it's it's not a humongous one, but it's not a small one.
Yeah. No.
So
decent. I'm just looking at somebody just made a comment. Mud Max metal detecting. I think I prefer a machine that registers hot rock and coke. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I suppose it means you're not missing anything. For sure.
Yeah.
So looking at where you've detected, where would you most like to detect, or have you got a place worldwide or an area in the US that you would like to go to, and why?
Probably like a Civil War area where some of the Civil War battles have been.
Yeah.
And I would really love to come to the UK and detect, like.
Yeah.
There seems to be a lot of cool coins over there. The tokens. So there's a lot of lead tokens.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome when people find them.
Yeah. I've only, believe it or not, I've not actually found many lead tokens. I think I've got like 2 or 3 lead tokens. But I've found plenty of like little soldiers and horses and things like that, toys. But lead tokens, I haven't come across too often, if you know what I mean. But some of the designs on them are absolutely stunning.
Well, I noticed you find a lot of ship coins And I was like, what's a ship coin? You know?
Oh, the ship halfpennies.
Just, yeah. I didn't understand if it really came from a ship or if it was an actual.
Oh right, no. Basically it's what we call a ship halfpenny, and on the reverse, it's actually a tall ship that's on the back.
Yeah.
So they call it the ship penny basically.
Yeah, I don't know if it was. I can't remember who I asked if it was Digger's Den, Tyson Fury. Somebody found one and that's what they said because it has a ship on it.
Yeah. Mark, MS Detectorist is saying it's hammer coins. That's the thing over here. But
I would love to find one of them.
Yeah.
I haven't heard very many people find them in America, but very few people do find them over here.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, who was it? I watched one and they actually pulled a hammer coin out the ground. One of the UK hammer coins. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
It was come up in good condition as well. So it was pretty impressive. But yeah, they got pretty, shall we say, ecstatic over pulling this coin. So it was good to see.
Yeah, it'd be like finding a big gold nugget over here. I don't know. Yeah. It's pretty major.
Yeah. I think somebody's actually pulled a Roman coin out from America, or I've heard a Roman coin coming up, more at the coast area. I can't remember who pulled that in America as well though.
What time period do the Roman coins come from? Like I noticed a lot of people in the UK find them.
The hundreds.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they're about 489 AD and stuff like that. So yeah,
that's just amazing to be able to find something that old.
Yeah, some of them come up in really good condition as well, and folk find hordes of them as well, actual jars. And,
oh wow!
Yeah, so there was it wasn't a Roman horde, but on Facebook, they found a horde of Charles II, I think it was, and I think there might have been Elizabeth's in there as well, Elizabeth III's, and they found an actual pot. Obviously, I was scattered and then dug it, but they actually done it Facebook Live as well. So obviously, showing it off but just listening to them dig it, you could hear. I think they've been up all night. They were absolutely, shall we say, buggered by the end of digging it.
Oh yeah.
But that must have.
I'd like to find a horde of anything, even if it's more recent.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun to find something like
that. Yeah, I don't know if it classes as a horde, but I found on one of the digs I was on, Victoria, Queen Victoria, so that's what, early 1900s, late 1800s, and I found about 12 pennies and half pennies, her coins, but that was just a coin spill at a purse, I think, somebody dropped. Mark's saying that Romans, basically 2,000 years and upwards.
Wow.
Yeah, so it is impressive, but when you look at some of the YouTubers from down south, they find them, like, shall we say, on a weekly occurrence. In Scotland, not so much, unless you're in the right areas. But that's what it's all about. It'll be the same in the US. I'm guessing history, obviously, of the areas, and it just depends on what areas you're in. To be fair, I think it's like, for me, it's like borders and up the east coast, potentially, you might find more Roman. That's where the activity seems to be.
Now, there used to be detecting holidays in the UK, but I don't know if the corona and everything stopped all that. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I've seen a couple, because Nugget Noggin was on, I think, one of them.
Yep.
But I don't know if I'm going to guess that they aren't in play at the moment. They might be starting up, I'm guessing, soon, but it depends on where they're coming from and stuff, because of the legislation of quarantines of coming in from certain countries and that. So I think once they've properly got this virus under control, it might change then. But I'm guessing it's probably going to hit that business hard at the moment.
I would definitely love to do that someday.
Yeah.
So once all this gets squared away, hopefully.
Yeah. I think once it's all done, I think if you you just come across to the UK and say you're coming across, I'm pretty sure there'll be folk willing to take you out and onto their permissions and go digging. As I say, a lot of folk up and down the country have got different eras as well. So you might find hammers, Romans, Saxon. That's a big thing as well, Saxon coins over here. A lot of folk are after Saxon coins, just due to the age. So with your YouTube content that you've created so far on your channel, See It My Way, what would you say is the most memorable that you've done so far that stands out to you that you've recorded?
The Daniel video was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I just enjoy making video, like even for the visually impaired or blind. I just enjoy being able to make a video that I hope helps at least one person.
Yeah.
You know.
And so obviously is it based on what way your content as well? Because as I say, we discussed at the start, you've got the be happy, keep smiling, shall we say, ethos, and it's good to see. Is there a message in your content that you want to, in your videos, that you want folk to take away from your videos?
To just absolutely be happy, and if any obstacle or challenge you have in life, you can overcome it. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel like you're contained to a certain thing. You can just go out and do what you want to do. Find ways to get around it. Got
you. So we obviously what's the word? I've got it there. With the ability, detectorist with the ability sight. For somebody like myself, if we see another detectorist like yourself, visual impaired or blind, is there anything we can do that obviously without being or coming across as ignorant or disrespectful to be able to help you when you're out in the field and stuff? Is there anything we can do?
Not really. No, I think I got everything pretty much figured out.
Yeah.
But I really don't have anybody I go metal detecting with. I do have a friend I go with every once in a while when he has time, but
yeah,
it would be nice to find more people to detect with.
Nice. So if there's anybody near, Shane, there's an invite to meet up and do a wee day's detecting. So when it comes to, obviously you've made your video and stuff like that, obviously because of your eyesight, who does your editing of your videos?
My wife, she does all the editing. I have nothing to do with it. But like when I'm metal detecting, I do all the recording myself. I pretty much do all of it, except for the wrap-ups. She helps me record the wrap-ups to show everything I found.
Nice. So is it when you're recording, are you using a GoPro or are you using your camera off your phone?
I just use my iPhone because it talks to me and it tells me when I'm recording, or it'll even tell me if where your face is at in the camera. So
that's good. So, we don't even hear that on the videos.
No, I just plug my earphones in so you don't hear my phone talking.
Okay. So that's actually quite a good little thing. I didn't even realise the phones were able to do that. Is that a different app or something like that helps you for your face, or is it bleeps or?
Phone, it's just built right in. You just have to go into accessibility and just turn on your voiceover option, and it even tells me if my camera is level. It'll say tilt left or tilt right to get it to go level, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is quite interesting. Do other phones do it, or is it only the iPhone that you know of at the moment?
Androids, it's similar, but they also do the same thing. But iPhone has a little edge because they started it from the get-go, the accessibility options.
I got you. Right, I've only got a couple more questions for you, so I don't know if I keep you too long. So the machine that's currently coming on the market is the Garrett Apex. Would you think about considering one of them as well?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm hoping to next summer possibly to get one.
Nice. What is it that's attracting you, other than obviously the hype? But
yeah.
What is it that you feel that you might like on the Apex?
Well, I like the multi-tone frequency.
The multi-frequency.
Like absolutely.
Yeah, I think that that's the way that it's going now. Multi-frequency for sure. So the final question for you tonight, Shane. What would you have liked to have accomplished in your hobby of detecting, but also with your YouTube channel? What would you have liked to have accomplished in, say, 5 years? What would you like to see your channel do or have accomplished in 5 years?
I would like to hit 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, that's everybody's goal.
Yeah,
that's exactly.
I think everybody aims for that.
Yeah, but I'd like to start a hunt of my own as a fundraiser for the Federation of the Blind, and try to raise some money.
Yeah.
So that's a goal I have. I'm trying to figure out how to do to get everybody to come together. And
yeah.
Maybe a seated hunt or something. Just to have fun, meet some people.
That sounds pretty neat and for a really good cause there as well. So would it be worthwhile maybe possibly getting in contact with, when you go to the event, and when you go down to the event, speaking to some of the organisers on how to go about it, or if they would consider doing it for you?
Yeah, but right now, with the whole COVID thing, right now everything is so, nobody wants to commit to anything or plan anything.
Yeah.
And, that's what's tough right now. So I'll just wait it out until this all gets sorted out and passes. So hopefully within the next 6 months.
Got you.
I can start planning.
Yeah. It'll be good to see if or when you get that organised, because I'm pretty sure with your determination and the way you are of just go and do it, that you'll achieve that aim, and probably within I'm saying 5 years, you'll probably achieve that within probably 2, even earlier, depending on, as you say, the current situation.
Yeah.
But anyway, Shane, I'd just like to say, obviously, I've run out of questions for you now. Unless anybody else in the chat has a question for Shane, please feel free to ask. But
yeah, thank you all for joining the chat today.
Yeah, and show the love to each other in the chat, and to Shane as well. Be much appreciated. But anyway, Shane, thank you very much for coming on and joining me in the live stream tonight. It has been much appreciated, and such a pleasure to have such an inspirational person on my live stream. So it has been a real pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. I had a really great time. It was nice.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you everyone for coming in and joining us as well. And all I'd just like to say is take care, be safe, good luck, and happy hunting, everybody.